Prem Sikka, Professor Prem Sikka. He's been to Jersey and he's now returning to the mainland, as they call it. So what have you learnt this time, Prem?
Oh, it's been a wonderful trip. Here I am sitting at the airport today on 4th April. I came to Jersey 2 days ago and experienced, as always, the wonderful hospitality of people. And it was very good to meet people at a kind of a semi-formal, somewhat informal meeting yesterday, which many people who love Jersey and care for Jersey had organized. And it was good to talk about the challenges that Jersey is facing. And it was also a little bit heartening to hear that there are more and more people concerned about not only what is happening to them living in Jersey, but also what Jersey's politics are doing to other countries. So that was heartening to hear.
Do you think that message is getting through? That Jersey does have an impact elsewhere?
I think the audience is inevitably selective. The audience which came to the meeting was a particular subsection of Jersey. So it's hard to say, at least for me as a visitor, whether that was reflective of Jersey society at large or not, but certainly there were more people there than I recall from a previous meeting, so that possibly suggests that there is more concern. But also more interesting was young people. There were young people there who are very concerned about their future, the future of the island, and they can see that the writing is on the wall, that under pressure not only from the European Union and US and UK, but also from many other countries, it is likely that the Tax Haven Act of Jersey will be curtailed. Jersey may not wish to curtail it, but Jersey, like other tax havens, can only continue with its activities as long as many other states are willing to tolerate this. So they were quite aware that the pressure is building, and as a result Jersey has to carve out possibly a different future.
You travel quite widely around the world, conferences, you meet lots of people. Is it noticeably different, the climate? Is it definitely changing as far as tax havens are concerned?
I think so. I think it is now a worldwide issue, because worldwide there is a feeling of austerity, cuts, hard-won social rights on pension, education, welfare are being eroded. So there is a constant pressure on revenues in all countries, and I think people are basically saying, well, there are tax revenues, there are profits, corporate profits to go around, wealth to go around. It is just that large chunks of wealth have managed to avoid taxation altogether, either through routing it through tax havens or through spurious, sometimes very complex structures and investment programs, sometimes just through cheating and lying, sometimes using banks who will conceal their identity. So people feel that it is time for a
Cyprus
change.
had a recent emergence as a haven. It's now taking a crash. Is that the first haven, do you think, to disappear?
Well, I think they will all come under pressure, but Cyprus again had its own peculiarities. Cyprus has suffered from the haircut taken by the Greek banks. Cyprus also held a large amount of Greek government securities, against which little or no capital buffer was needed. So their banks basically became a nightmare virtually overnight. Jersey, in contrast, does not really have any Jersey-owned, locally based banks, but nevertheless, a lot of wealth is routed through Jersey, and I think the possible changes to tax structures, possible pressures for greater transparency, openness, accountability would erode the value of Jersey.
There are quite a few very small territories, Andorra, Monaco, Liechtenstein, small territories which are prominent as havens. Do you think any of those would be on the disappearing list soon?
I think they will all be under pressure to a varying degree, because in many ways these tax havens have sponsors. The Channel Islands is primarily sponsored by the City of London and the UK government, Cyprus was primarily funneling Russian money, much to the annoyance of the Russian government. So I think they have particular kind of links, and the interesting thing to do would be to look at those links, how they are affected by the global financial crisis. But I think the challenge the tax havens are facing is not just some academics or pseudo-intellectuals talking about reforms. It is ordinary people who have seen the damage which the economic model of the tax havens has done to them. So it is now at a grassroots, at a public level, and therefore only a major change would suffice.
The Turks and Caicos, we're told, became sufficiently corrupt. The British government had to intervene. There are rumblings in some quarters that the Jersey government, the administration here, might not meet standards as far as international finance is concerned. I don't know whether those rumours have reached you, but is that a likely scenario? Some of these places might get closed down because their infrastructures are inadequate.
Well, Turks and Caicos certainly was portrayed as corrupt, and the argument by the British government was that it had to finally accept the responsibility for good governance of those islands, and that is equally applicable to Jersey. I started looking at the politics of Jersey way back in 1996 at the time of the LLP legislation, and I don't think a lot has changed in Jersey politics. Some reforms were introduced after the Clothier report, but essentially you witness it is a one-party state. The party is called Finance, and it is the world of finance which rules, and all sorts of concessions are available to finance. Jersey has been reluctant to investigate the misdemeanors of the finance unless it has been forced. There are, from the outside, there are revelations from outside. The stench is so strong that the government is unable to ignore it. But also when you look at the structure of the courts, the structure of Jersey states, it seems to be run as a family enterprise. One gets a feeling it's like a mafia, close-knit mafia, ruling the island when you start looking at who the judges are, who important people in the Jersey states are, who they are connected to. And I think there is no place for that kind of a structure in the modern world, and the British government should intervene. Mere investigation won't do, because like the Edwards report, which was produced about 1998, or the Michael Foot review, they are produced and they are basically used as a legitimatory device, as a way of disarming critics to say, look, we have looked into this, here is a report, something will happen. I'm afraid very little happens, and here we are in 2013, and large chunks of the Edwards reports still remain unimplemented. How
do Middle Eastern countries get by with that? Because obviously a lot of those have got very incestuous, for want of a better word, government, where the local princes run the banks, run the government, run everything. How do they present a face to the world which is respectable and accountable?
Well, I think Middle East is a very different world. They're very feudal structures compared to European countries. They have their own dynamics. I have not really studied them in any detail, so therefore I can't really make a decent comment about it, but they do have their own dynamics. But the problem about Jersey is it is a part of Europe, whether it likes it or not, and it is out of line with the way European states are governed, how they are accountable. I'm not saying that there is any European state which is wonderfully open and democratic, but Jersey does not even meet those standards.
When your next trip, Prem?
Soon. I look forward to coming back, hopefully on a sunny day. It is quite cloudy out there and quite windy. Hopefully on another sunny day, and I look forward to coming back and renewing old friendships and making some new ones.
We should look forward to that. Thanks, Prem.
Okay, thank you.